Of course, Trump's remedy for low polling numbers is that reminding people that polls can be wrong, but not in this case. Um, Trump goes on a tirade saying that he's not losing, which he is. Um, the fake president Donald Trump insisted in an interview on Sunday with the Fox News anchor Chris Wallace after being presented with the cable network's latest poll, which showed former Vice President Joe Biden with an 8-point advantage nationally. The fake president, who often promotes poll numbers when they are favorable to him, and even regularly advertises what he claims is a 96% approval rating in the Republican Party, but overall he's only got like a 39% approval rating. Without citing any source for this questionable statistic, said that the public polls that showed him losing were fake in 2016, and now they're even more fake, which they're not. There aren't many campaign metrics out there these days to buoy a fake president who loves to cite a record he has shattered. He hasn't been able to pack a stadium with supporters since the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic, and Biden has outraised him for 2 months in a row. Unlike Hillary Clinton's slim lead in the national polls from 4 years ago, Biden has held a nearly double-digit lead in an average of polls for more than a month. In response, the Trump campaign has highlighted the meaningless marker of a boat parade as a measure of voter enthusiasm. The most recent shattered record that Trump has touted online is a heat index. We may have set a record for doing such an interview in the heat, Trump tweeted on Tuesday, referring to his outdoor interview with Wallace. It was 100 degrees, making things very interesting, not really. Meanwhile, his campaign and his top advisors have echoed his attempts to discredit the public polls in an effort to treat them dismissively as an extension of the media. The Trump team sent a cease and desist letter to CNN after it published a June poll that showed Trump losing big lead to Biden. The network said it stood by its poll, and in a recent interview with the Newsweek, the fake president's son-in-law, dumbass Kushner, who's overseeing Trump's campaign, dismissed the public polling as bullshit. Privately, aides had said that Trump knows things aren't looking good for him. He just thinks the public polls are overstating the situation. His campaign does not conduct national polls, but aides have presented him with internal data about the battleground states that show a closer race than the public polling numbers. His pollsters tell him regularly that he is in a close race and that there is more polling bias in the news media today than there was 4 years ago. Technically, it's not close. Untethered to any measurable metric, they assure him that his base is still enthusiastically engaged, not really, and that the media that might have been planning to vote for him in March has moved away through to no fault of his own. Technically, it was his fault, so that's why they're moving away from him. They don't want to be with him. That has helped. Lead Trump to think that the public polls were overstating Biden's advantage, advisor said, and they offer only a snapshot in time, but his internal numbers still show him trailing Biden, and he is worried about his standing. He asks his advisors with more regularity what do we need to do, and grills his friends about how he's looking while making public course corrections, advisor said. Over the past several weeks, he changed his stance of promoting masks, claiming that it was patriotic to wear one, not really, and resuscitated the daily coronavirus news conference, but an acknowledgement that he needs to be seen as taking the virus seriously again. He never took it seriously at the beginning, so why would he be doing that now? On Tuesday evening, the campaign aides circulated a news story from CNBC in which the host Jim Cramer had said that Trump's related endorsement of face coverings had sparked a rally in recovery stocks. The fake president also unceremoniously demoted his longtime campaign manager, Brad Parscale, and his campaign has shifted the majority of its advertising resources to a message of law and order, claiming inaccurately in a new television spot that if Biden is elected, the country's police departments will cease to exist. No, they won't, because not once did Biden ever run on that or even sign anything of that sort. His political opponents assume that he knows. His political opponents know that he's losing, and bigly, and that his blanket dismissal of public polling as fake is part of his strategy to sow doubt and confusion in November, saying that the polls are fake helps him in laying the predicate for claiming the election is rigged, said William Kristol, the conservative writer and prominent Never Trump Republican, because his brand going forward depends on his being the victim of a rigged system and not accepting the defeat. He has a general interest in discrediting the truth, and this is part of an assault on the truth. But aides said that even in private conversations, Trump has not let the reality of his current political standing fully sink in. No one's ever going to come back from something like this, said Lee Miringoff, director of the Marist College Institute for Public Opinion, referring to Biden's polling lead over Trump. Indeed, it has been almost 25 years since Bill Clinton sustained such a gaping advantage over his opponent, Bob Dole, in 1996. But when the donors and outside allies have been blunt with Trump and told him that he is in fact losing, the fake president has pushed back, claiming that things are getting better and there's still plenty of time for improvement. Technically, nothing's getting better right now, and you only have 4 months, and there's not enough time for improvement. According to Republicans familiar with these conversations who spoke on the condition of anonymity to disclose private exchanges, he claims that his polls are getting real movement since Rushmore. No, they're not. But Trump has told multiple associates, referring to his 4th of July address at Mount Rushmore, which he framed the campaign as a battle against a new far left, democratic fascism seeking to wipe out the nation's values and history. The White House advisors viewed the speech as a success. It really wasn't. If a temporary one that was quickly overtaken by Trump's defense of the Confederate flag, yet the Biden campaign has not seen a real improvement in how voters view Trump since the beginning of this pandemic. According to a person who is familiar with the campaign's data, the voters' impression of Trump and the person said, have only grown more negative. In private conversations, Trump has also brought up the general election debates as an opportunity for him to improve his standing in the race, telling allies he expects his opponent to perform poorly in this format. Trump's view of his position in the race is partly his belief in his own myth. After the 2016 victory, that the prognosticators were all wrong and he was right. Technically, 45 has not been. Trump has not been right on any fucking thing that he's done so far. And partly the rosier than reality picture that he hears from certain advisors about the state of the race. A fake president who loves numbers, the stock market when it's on the rise, the monthly job report when it shows a positive storyline for him, particularly loves polls such as in the 2016 primary season, when he was out polling his Republican rivals. He also has a great out if he doesn't like the polls in November 2016. His sources for his poll numbers are beyond cable television and newspaper articles, are his aides, some of whom willfully distort the electoral landscape to avoid his wrath, going so far as to tell him he's winning in states like Maine, which he isn't, where he actually is losing. Aides said that even those advisors who are willing to bring him bad news no longer deliver the full picture. One of Trump's main pollsters, Tony Fabricio, often had the most dire predictions and was known not to shy away from a sky is falling briefing with the fake president, but aides said that everyone has tiptoed around the fake president ever since June, when he threatened to sue Pascal after he presented polling data that showed Trump trailing Biden in several different crucial states. Now aides had said that even the aides with more dire predictions will explain away bad numbers by pointing to outside factors and will often blame news coverage for Trump's slump. The only person that you could really blame for Trump's slump is Trump himself. The campaign disputed that there wasn't anything terrible that they even needed to brief the president about. We track 17 states, and that will decide the next president, and we will trust the methodology," said Tim Murtaugh, the campaign's communication director. "In those states, our data shows that President Trump remains strong against a defined Joe Biden and is well positioned for re-election." No, it does not show that. So you got to quit fucking lying. But Trump is losing, and I'm happy to actually see that. Now, if you like the video, give the video a like and subscribe to my channel, Ryan Van Wyk, and then also hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified whenever a new video comes out. And thanks for listening.